not even middle school campuses all across the country, to remind people what freedom's all about. And at the same time, to remind them that things like democratic socialism didn't just fail in the past, or communism fail in the past. It's failing in places today like Venezuela, right in our own hemisphere, and other places like North Korea around the world.
I'm Chris Woodward.
Job creation by private employers cooled last month. Jenny Casola reports.
Though job growth continued to hold up early this summer, payroll processing company ADP says the trend slowed in July, with only 44,000 new positions created by private employers in the month, down from a revised 95,000 the month before. The number is fewer than expected. Though natural resources and mining hiring declined, along with transportation and utilities and leisure and hospitality, construction, manufacturing, education, and health services, financial activities, information and professional and business services employment rose. The ADP report is not considered a preview of the monthly employment report, which comes out on Friday. Jenny Cosola, Fox News.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
Every day, AFA offers biblical insight on issues that others aren't willing to touch, in the hopes that you'll become a world changer. That's why we're offering an in-depth worldview training course called Activate. 13 different professors teaching 18 sessions, all available online, including a printed workbook to help you apply what you've learned, and 1-year access to AFA streaming content to give you even more resources. Find out more about Activate and sign up today at activate.afa.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. You're listening to AFR. Today's Wednesday, August the 5th, 2026. If you can believe it, we're already in August. All right, I'm Tim with Ed Battagliano. Welcome back, Brother Ed.
It's good to be back.
You were off yesterday? Well, you were working.
I was working from home.
Yeah, the quote, working from home, right?
No, I really was working from home.
No, I'm kidding.
No, here's the
teasing.
thing. I was working from home because we had to get our air conditioner serviced. And it was one of those deals.
You're still working on that? Please tell me you got it fixed.
Well, it is.
That's brutal.
It's working.
Okay.
We had it serviced yesterday, but it needs a surge protector.
All right.
So that they have to order that. But it's one of those deals where we'll get there sometime.
Oh no,
Tuesday.
they gave you an 8 to 12 window, or
it was actually 1 to 5
window,
and they got there about 5:30.
And you stood at the window and looked out,
Yes.
waiting on them.
But it's one of those deals where my wife doesn't want men in the house, even servicemen. So I like to be there, and so that was the deal. I work from home.
Wesley Wildmon. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning.
Good morning, Fred Jackson.
Good morning.
I want to formally introduce the panel now. You can continue your inquisition.
So ours was out for just one day.
Yeah.
Well, it was out while we were traveling. We found out when we got home. It was fixed within a day. But just that day window that we were there, I can only imagine. This has been going on for a couple of days for you, right?
Well, it's working. It's working, but here's the deal.
Okay.
Because it's been so hot, every once in a while our power will flicker.
Mm-hmm.
And that shuts off the air conditioner, and it tries to reboot and then makes a terrible noise.
Okay.
And so, and I'm the same way in the morning, frankly. And so I looked online, and it was true that if you don't have a surge protector, it can completely fry your compressor when it starts to come back on. So it is working. We have air because this has been 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's been 2 weeks to get somebody out there.
So that's why you got pushed down the list. Probably.
Well,
is it working? We'll
give us 5 more minutes.
That was
story. We need 5 more minutes. Go ahead.
No, that was the thing.
I was being empathetic.
I told them, no, it's working, but I don't want this fry the compressor.
Yeah, no, you don't want to
so
fry
the people whose air conditioning was out,
I care, Ed.
they were pushed to the top of the list,
I care.
which is fine. Thank you, Wesley.
Fred, my air conditioner's working fine. How about yours?
It's working very well,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
So we do have sympathy for you guys.
Doesn't sound like it.
86
Wesley's
degrees when
my
I walked
man.
in the house the other day.
It was 86 degrees.
when it was broke. But they fixed it.
I'm just gonna
That
say
affects your attitude.
it does.
I am a 21st century man.
Yeah.
I don't know how people. I grew up without air conditioning up north, even.
Right.
But I've gotten used to it. I just take me to heaven. If an EMP goes off and we're all back in the 1800s,
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in front of a team of horses,
Came over.
pulling a wagon.
Oh, man.
Oh, real quick, I need to tell this story. I think people will find it a little humorous.
Oh yeah, Wesley and I are gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna laugh.
Y'all gonna laugh.
Yeah,
So Brent Creeley and I live close to by. Brent, our producer. You can pull the microphone up there, Brent. So, have you ever been in one of those moments when something you're a victim of something of an appearance that you feel like you need to explain yourself to others because it's not what it seems like it is?
Yes.
So, Brent and I live. Good morning, Brent.
Good morning.
So Brent and I live close by each other, and
Yeah.
we frequent the same convenience store often.
You go hunting at the same time.
I don't hunt.
I know.
I hunt birdies. I don't hunt
On the
deer.
golf
And
course.
eagles.
On the golf course.
Birdies and eagles.
Eagles. I did have an eagle one. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. I had one eagle in my life.
Video
Anyway,
game.
you're getting me distracted.
It's
okay,
so
and that's
easy.
rare. Okay, so last night, I don't know what time it was, 7 or 8 o'clock, something like that.
Yes, sir.
8 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
I'm at the convenience store, and I'm standing at the cash register, and the lady says, "My cash register's frozen up." I don't know. Do they still call them cash registers, Brent? Do you know?
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes, sir.
People
we
know
call
what
them
you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. It's
Right.
It's not a register like old-fashioned, but that's what we still call them. Anyway, so the lady says, she's better by her shift. She says, "I'm sorry, sir, but there's nothing I can do. I've tried punching every button I can up here, and nothing seems to open it.
Yeah.
So I've called the owner, and he'll be here in a few minutes." Brent walks in, okay, while I'm up there.
Yeah.
Brent walks in the store. And
You have a bad attitude.
oh, well, no, I had a good attitude.
Okay,
I,
all
was,
right, good,
I,
good.
I was very patient. But on the counter, there had been a gentleman who had left the store. You see where I'm going with this?
Oh, this is awesome.
There was a gentleman who had left the store because he didn't want to wait.
Yeah.
Well, he was trying to purchase like a 24 Corona.
Case.
Okay. Corona alcohol drink. I don't know what you call that. What do you call that? It's not a beer, is it? Is it a
that's
beer?
not
Beer.
Anyway, it's sitting right in front of me. You can't miss it. It's a big old case. So I turn around to see who walks in the door, and it's none other than Brent. Brent, our producer. So did you notice that? You couldn't help
Well,
it.
I wasn't going to say anything,
Okay,
but,
there you go.
but I
You
didn't
come on
notice.
noticing?
I didn't notice it.
Okay, but you didn't notice it?
No.
Well, maybe I was blocking it from you.
Other than he texted me.
Okay. Said I didn't know Tim had a drinking problem. Wow, he must, man, he 24 at a time. So I'm sitting there, and I'm also thinking, I don't want to lose my place in line. I'm
Right.
first, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking, who else is going to come in this store?
Right.
Because the 24 Corona cold beer package is sitting right up there on the counter, and I didn't want to take it upon myself to pick it up and go move
carry
it, because just as soon as I pick it up to turn and go move it, then somebody from the church is going to come in the door and look at me.
I'm just returning the beer.
Oh, sure you are. Yeah. So anyway, after we left, it's one of those things I felt I didn't know that Brent didn't see it, but I just felt the need. I texted him and said, that wasn't my beer. I wasn't buying a bunch of beer. Okay. I was just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Would it be too much to tell my little beer story?
No, go.
Or should we just move on?
No, go ahead.
Okay, real quick. This is back when I was pastoring part-time, working here full-time, pastoring part-time, and the church was having a chili cook-off. And I found a recipe for beer chili. Okay, now, I don't drink, so but I'm not going to go to a store and buy beer. So
You're the pastor?
I'm the pastor. So I sent my wife. Okay.
Oh, that's better.
So I told her, I said, I don't want someone walking in. Most people in the community don't know you. Okay. So and my wife doesn't care what people think.
Right.
So she goes to a convenience store. My wife has never drank alcohol in her life. And I, before I became a Christian, did. So she calls me while I'm at work. Okay, and she says, they have all these beers here. I don't know what to buy. And I said, my normal loud voice, I said, well, when I was, drinking, I liked Michelob. I said, but I don't care if they have Budweiser, just get something big in a can because it calls for 1 can of beer in the chili.
Okay.
And she said, well, does it need to be bottles? I said, no, it don't have to be bottles.
We'll get really technical.
Just get a can.
Right.
She said, well, they won't sell me a can. Well, then just get a 6-pack. We'll pour the rest. No, I don't think I said pour the rest out. I said, just get a 6-pack. That's fine. And then I hang up and I realize everyone in my department can hear what I'm saying. But
Are you at the church?
No. This is at AFA. This was when I was working on the magazine.
Oh, you're working with us. Okay.
Yes. And so everyone can hear what I'm saying, but they don't know why I'm telling my wife to buy
Everybody
beer.
had a cubicle.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're hearing me tell my wife, just get Michelob. That's what I used to drink. Get a 6-pack.
The cubicles we used to have back in the day, I remember those. They were only for the cover motion. They were
no,
you
it's privacy.
No,
everybody knows everybody's business.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what
fun.
happened to me last night. I had to.
I think that's very funny.
Yeah. All right, you're listening to today's issues. Don't worry, folks. The end of the world is still going to happen, and we're going to get to it momentarily. A lot of things going on here. Fred?
I just have to delete the picture that Brent sent me.
Of me holding the case of Corona? Oh, man.
I didn't send it to too many people, Tim. Don't
I
worry.
had to text for Brent. I posted it.
Post it on Facebook.
I didn't know. I was probably blocking his view. But anyway, they got the issue resolved with the cash register after about 15 minutes. And
what were you there to buy?
I went along my merry way.
What were you there to buy?
A payday.
A candy bar.
And a Coke.
Candy bar and a Coke.
Why do you care what I buy? This
is personal.
Because it's just funnier
the question.
that you were there to buy something as insignificant as a candy bar, and you got yourself in a jam.
Yeah, that's true. Some people go in convenience stores for candy bars. They sell a lot of them.
Yeah.
And potato chips.
Right.
Dill flavored, in case you're wondering. I tried to give those a whirl.
With
and they're
a candy
good.
bar. That's disgusting.
No, I didn't eat them together.
That convenience store and all the other ones are starting to divide families because they're starting to sell the little squishies that all these kids are buying. So I go in there to get gas.
Oh.
And my kids walk in with me.
They know that the kids come in, they're going to get a squishy.
And then it's a no, you can't anyway.
I did buy a squishy for me.
Yeah.
Those that have kids know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. And grandkids, too.
Yeah. And the dill pickle potato chip flavor is pretty good. I would give that a whirl.
Salt vinegar, too.
I don't care. I live on the edge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do.
I don't care.
That's what I think about when I think of Tim Wildmon. Edgy. Just edgy as can be.
I'll eat dill flavored potato chips in the middle of the week. I don't even have to wait. I don't even have to wait till the weekend.
Not even the weekend.
All right, Fred, what's happening?
Save us, Fred.
Yeah,
Well,
Fred.
it's a story that we've talked about on this program for weeks. Everybody has been watching the Democrat Party's Senate primary in Michigan. Who's going to win?
That's why it puts me to drinking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Fred. That's the last of that, Fred. Go ahead.
The radical left, Abdul El-Sayed.
Oh, yeah, Abdul.
Was he going to be able to beat the 4-time Congresswoman, Stevens? And we can now tell you this morning, as of about a half hour ago, that he has won and Stevens has conceded. Abdul El-Sayed will go up against Republican Mike Rogers. This is a big, big story, folks. It is a big story within the Democratic Party because Abdul El-Sayed represents that far left DSA. He may not call himself a member of the DSA, but he's fully endorsed by Bernie Sanders and AOC and the far left squad members, you name them all. Stevens had the endorsement of Democrat governor of Michigan, and others of the establishment of the Democratic Party. But it didn't work out that way. And so there's much to talk about on that avenue this morning. Now, Abdul El-Sayed gave an interview on a network this morning. He talked about his priorities. And Fox News played that clip. And then Bill Hammer, Fox News host, came on and said it's interesting that Abdul El-Sayed didn't mention in that interview this morning what one of the big issues that Abdul El-Sayed has run on there in Michigan is basically the United States has to divorce itself from Israel. That was his big issue.
Really?
And then we had a clip. We hear a clip of El-Sayed during a debate in July talking about we've got to end our relationship with Israel. So here it is, clip of El-Sayed this morning. You hear a little bit of Bill Hammer, and then you hear El-Sayed in this July debate expressing his absolute opposition to the nation of Israel. Cut number 2.
We want to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, pass Medicare for all. We've got an opportunity to bring ourselves back together, to come together around a movement, to take our democracy back, to make sure we have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, rather than of the corporations, by the billionaires, and for the special interests. And that's exactly why $70 million was spent against me in this race. They see me as an existential threat to the system of politics that is making it way too hard on everyday people.
So what he did not say in that clip was Israel, and on the stump, that's all he talked about, Israel and AIPAC. Here's from the July 7th debate in Michigan. Watch here.
For too long, our foreign policy has been handed to us by the likes of the State of Israel and AIPAC, who has made sure that Democrats and Republicans are doing their bidding. So long as our politicians continue to be bought off by AIPAC, do not be surprised when we fight wars that are in their best interest, to annex Israel, to annex Lebanon, or to do genocide in Gaza.
And just in case you're not familiar with AIPAC, AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. It dumped a lot of money into this in hopes of defeating El-Sayed, and I would bet that now that we're in the serious campaign as we head towards November, that AIPAC will be very much involved.
Okay, so just to set the situation here for outsiders who don't live in Michigan, who maybe haven't followed this closely, that's what we're talking about. This is a very important Senate race because, well, every Senate race is important because it affects the nation. So just because this is in an individual state, this is not a governorship. This is a United States Senate seat that will go to Washington, D.C., and represent the state of Michigan, but also represent the country. And so this fellow who you just heard, by the way, that was the first time I've heard him. He is very well spoken.
He is.
And I was looking at his, some of his interview and pictures. I'm not one to say a man's handsome or not because I don't know. I get confused with Brad Pitt a lot. People do that, and that. What are you laughing about?
I thought you said Peach Pit. I'm sorry,
no,
I had the wrong.
I get confused. People say you look a lot like Brad Pitt. And I don't know how to react.
What do you say?
Is that good or bad? I guess that's good.
Yeah, I think it is.
So anyway, but this fella is what I'm saying. This fella is a handsome man, and
he's
he's well dressed, and he's very articulate. He doesn't look like a wild-eyed, crazy, far-left communist lunatic like his politics represent. Right. Now, I will say another thing about the clips he just mentioned, Brad. So he will be a formidable candidate that the Democrat Party is putting forward, and those talking points he had resonate with a lot of people. Okay,
emotionally.
Yes, and so he now here's a situation. I want to get back to his Israel views in just a moment. Here's a situation. He's the Democrat nominee.
Yes.
Okay, for the Senate seat in Michigan. A gentleman by the name of Mike Rogers, who's a former congressman, is the Republican nominee, and he didn't have to face any challengers.
That's correct.
In a primary, which was good for him because he saved a lot of money.
Yep.
His campaign did. So now what I heard, Michigan is it's a purple state that's more blue than red, okay? But what I heard, what I've seen, is that Mike Rogers, the Republican, is favored now.
Yes.
To win a statewide election for the United States Senate seat, because one of the primary reasons is because this gentleman, El Sayed, is that his last name?
Abdul El Sayed.
Okay,
middle name is Muhammad.
So
include that.
Were they all?
Yeah.
Muhammad. Okay. Well, half Muslim men are named Muhammad, so you had me going there for just a minute. But Abdul, that's the second most popular name. Abdul El Sayed, he is so far left that he may be too far left even for the voters of Michigan.
Yeah, I think you're on his page there. That's what we're looking for. He wants to get rid of ICE.
Right.
He said there shouldn't be any corporate money. This is going to be interesting. He wants to get corporate money out of politics, corporations out of politics. We're going to be watching where he gets his money.
Right.
Now, it'll probably come...
They'll launder it.
Yeah.
Grassroots. Come on, guys.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to be watching, and basically he wants America out of Israel. He wants to divorce Israel. Mike Rogers, you just mentioned. Mike Rogers responded this morning when it was still in flux a bit to the guy he's now going to face in the general election. Cut number 4.
If you woke up this morning thinking we're still California because Wayne County still doesn't have their vote count in, you may be right. Our election system here in Michigan is broken. We're going to do a lot of work between now and November to help get that thing at least back in some semblance of order. First of all, think about it. He just came out a few minutes ago and said that he won the race, so he's declaring victory. This is really about the heart and soul of our country. I have never seen someone so radical, so extreme, get nominated by a political party, and the DSA candidates in the state in 2 different congressional races look like they're pulling it off as well. The Democrat Party is lost to this hardcore socialist attitude.
It's really interesting in some of the initial analysis already this morning. Stevens did fairly well in Detroit. Now, some people expected it to go the other way. But here's where one of the places that Abdul El Sayed did well, Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids on the western side of the state. But it has a bunch of small colleges. And so we're going to dig into that a little bit in the news department this morning.
We're more liberal.
Yeah.
So the colleges.
You're talking about the young people.
Yeah.
The young people. And that's who he has behind him. And we've said this over and over again. It's when these DSA people have rallies, you see young people behind them, and many of them are white young women who are being persuaded by this. And you heard, and I was listening to Abdul El Sayed a little bit more this morning. He keeps mentioning we're going to save democracy. We're going to save democracy. As if democracy has been lost, and he's going to restore it. If you listen to their policies, let's get rid of the Senate. Let's get rid of ICE. When he talks about immigration reform, he then says in the next breath, we got to get rid of ICE. Okay, so how do you regulate and how do you protect the country?
He doesn't believe in borders. They don't believe in borders.
Yeah.
Those people don't. They don't believe in borders.
Well, you talk about chaos. But you know, Abdul El Sayed is, and we don't have time, we're running up against a break here, but perhaps in the second half of this hour, we'll talk about another DSA candidate, folks. She right now is doing well in the race to be the next governor of Wisconsin.
She's another radical nutcase. Look, my opinion, by the way, El Sayed got the endorsement of Senator Gary Peters, who was the Michigan Democrat senator who's retiring. The Democratic Party is, as the young people say, is cooked. They're done. And by done,
they don't see it that way. But
no, what I'm saying is the establishment Democrats are on the way out.
I got you.
This party is going far left, and there is nothing the establishment can do to stop it. Okay, the young people who, generally speaking, I'm talking about below in age. Wesley's group,
I'm
below
37,
millennials.
so you're 25 and under.
Yes, I'm saying 25 and under, maybe even 30 and under. They have the lowest church attendance rates, the lowest rates belief in God, and the highest rates in believing in socialism. They are taking over the Democratic Party, and I don't see anything stopping them. John Fetterman, the Pennsylvania senator, he can't stop them. James Carville can't. Bill Maher can't. This party's going far left. This country is going to be deciding between conservatism and traditional liberalism and socialism. That's going to be the choice.
I would say that James Carville and that group has created this.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, now they may have not have realized it at the time.
Yes.
But now it's too
Good,
late.
good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And
listen,
the Bill Maher's.
class warfare has always worked to a certain extent.
That's right.
So he's pitting the, quote, wealthy and the corporations against the average person. That's very appealing to a lot of voters. The anti-Israel stuff, there's a lot of people on the right who subscribe to what he talked about with Israel controlling our politics. I don't agree with it, but AIPAC is a very powerful organization, pro-Israel,
right,
in D.C. That is true. But anyway, we can continue our conversation. We're also going to talk to a gentleman who is actually running for Congress, who is a Christian man.
Hello, I'm Ed Vitagliano. Did you know that this show is listener supported? Without people like you, this show would not exist. That's why we need you. A generous monthly gift of any amount will help sustain American Family Radio, specifically this show, as we reach thousands of people each week with biblical truth. Please consider becoming a monthly financial partner today by visiting afr.net/give. That's afr.net/give.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
Back during the first half of the 18th century, there was a young boy who aspired to be a writer. Because of his lack of formal education, the young boy wasn't sure of his ability. And his life had not been one that would foster self-confidence. His family had moved quite often, his father finally being jailed because of his inability to pay his debts. Because of the circumstances, this young boy had been able to attend school for only 4 years. To earn a living, he got a job putting labels on bottles of blacking in a dilapidated warehouse. He found him a place to sleep in a dismal attic, and he shared that room with others who couldn't afford anything better. But this young boy was determined to write, and he did write, day after day. Finally, he got enough courage to submit a manuscript to a publisher. He mailed that manuscript at night when no one could see him because he was afraid someone might ridicule him. Soon he heard from the publisher. His manuscript was refused, rejected. Time and again this young boy submitted his writings. Again and again the same answer came back, rejected. No publisher or paper was interested in his writings. But the desire to write was burning in the young boy's heart, and he refused to quit. Finally, one of his stories was accepted. Now, he didn't receive any money for the story, but the editor did give him some praise. It was such a happy moment for him that he walked the streets with tears of joy coming down his cheeks. Now someone else had shown some belief in him. This bit of encouragement gave that young boy the impetus he needed to go on to greater things. And in a few years, all of England was reading his writings. The young boy believed in himself, believed he was capable of reaching the dream he had for himself in his heart, and for that reason, he would not quit. You know, too often in life we quit too soon. Many times the victory is just around the corner if we would only keep trying. It is of great importance that a person believe in himself. Selling ourselves short is no virtue. It is a vice. It hurts us. It keeps us from developing our God-given resources to become all that we can become, all that God wants us to become. The dreams we have for ourselves of what we can do and become can come true. They can, that is, if we are willing to continue to work toward the fulfillment of those dreams with all the resources we have. But we must remember that the fulfillment of any dream requires dedication, sacrifice, and persistence on our part. Oh, incidentally, the young boy in London who refused to quit, his name, Charles Dickens. His novels are still read to this day. He believed in himself. So believe in yourself. God does.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Hello, Tim Wildmon here, president of American Family Association and American Family Radio. Hey, maybe you've heard some of my other announcements about our tours in March 2027. We are going to Greece and we're going to Italy. 2 separate tours, but you can do both if you want to. The first tour is called The Footsteps of Paul, which will be going to many of the places covered in the book of Acts that happened in Greece. The other tour is Italy, and one of the places we're going to be going is Venice, and we're going to ride the gondola that Paul took on his trip to Venice. You can read about that in the Bible too. I'm just kidding, but you can call it a gondola or gondola, I don't care. But if you want to go on one of our tours in 2027, go to tours.afa.net. That's tours.afa.net.
Come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker, for He is our God. We are the people He watches over, the flock under His care. Psalm 95, 6-7.
This is Today's Issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of Today's Issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of Today's Issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues. That's the name of this show. We're here Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, we have Trivia Friday, which is coming up a couple days from now. Appreciate you listening to American Family Radio. So we've been talking about politics and government, and we need more. We always encourage Christians to get involved in politics and government. It's not for everybody to run for office, but certainly you can support people who do, who share your values. And Hampton Harris is a candidate for the United States Congress. He's running on the Republican side. There are other Republicans in a primary with him. That will be decided soon, and then they will go on to the November general election. But I know Hampton, and says, why don't you come on and tell us why Christians should be engaged? And Hampton Harris joins us from, are you in Montgomery, Alabama?
So today I'm in Dothan, but I am from Montgomery. That's where I grew up, and appreciate you having me on today, and love what you're saying, because that's one of the reasons I got involved here, and I think it's really important for us as Christians to be as involved as possible, because so much of the world today leaves the Bible on the church pew on Sundays and doesn't carry it into the rest of their lives, and it's so important because it needs to follow us into politics, into our work, into our play, because it's who we are. We are part of the body of Christ, and it really is defining our values. And so it's super important to get that involved and bring it out there. And that's something that inspired me to run.
What were a couple of influences on you, Hampton? What are you, in your mid-30s or something like that?
I'm younger than that. I'm 29 years old, so I'm young.
29 years old. Well, do you shave or? I mean, I don't even remember what it was like to be 29 years old. That was like another world behind me. So 29 years old, and so. But what were a couple of influences on you that led you into to go into get out there on the campaign trail?
Somebody that's had a huge impact on my life, and I grew up going to church with him as my pastor. It was Pastor John Ed Matheson at Fraser Church in Montgomery.
Right.
And he always says you have two choices. You can either complain about something or you can do something about it. And it gave a different outlook on life. We can be joyful and get out there and try to correct the problems, or we can just sit there and harp on the problems and complain about it, get nothing done. And so I jumped in this race back in January when it was a district that was drawn to be a Democrat district. And our representative, so our nation, as you know, was founded so that while we have Senate and representatives up there and president, they are our voices. They speak on our behalf. But the true leaders of this nation is we the people. And with that comes a great responsibility to send someone to D.C. that's going to represent our voice and represent Jesus in D.C. Because if we don't do it, nobody's going to do that on our behalf. And our current representative back in January and still has been up there representing us and voting on bills such as one that simply said that it wanted to protect babies that were born alive after a failed abortion attempt, give them the same protections as other children. And he voted against it. And I saw this evil going on in D.C. using our voice to vote on this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And no one else wanted to step in and run against him. So I was the only Republican to jump in to run against him. So I was a Republican nominee going into May. And it was going to be an uphill battle. It was hard. But it was the right thing to do because we need to make sure that we are getting out there and making the difference that we want to see.
Yeah.
And so I jumped in and was running. And thankfully, the Supreme Court made a ruling saying that Alabama could use the lines drawn by our actual legislators instead of using lines drawn by a court. And so we got redrawn, and it's going to be a Republican-leaning district this time. And when that happened, they reopened qualifying, and we had a bunch more Republicans jump in once it got a little bit easier there. And so we're facing them in August 11th primary. It's coming up here in 6 days. We got it on Tuesday. The vote's coming up.
Yeah.
And so
let me jump in here. Hampton Harris is our guest joining us. He's in Dothan, Alabama today. He's from Montgomery. He's running for Congress on the Republican side. And he is, we wanted to highlight the fact that, Christians getting involved in government and sticking their neck out and running for office. And that's a good thing. We need more. We need more.
We encourage people to do it, especially young people. Like Hampton.
All right, Hampton. What is your website if people want to learn more about your candidacy there?
It's HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com, and we're on Facebook and Instagram as well on Hampton Harris for Congress.
Okay. One last question. When you run for office in Alabama, do you have to pick Auburn, Alabama, or can you versus Alabama, or can you want all voters to vote for you?
Well, I'm a big Troy fan, so...
Troy fan. Okay, there you go. You're neutral.
That's right. We're going to be pulling for the Trojans.
The Trojans. Okay, I got you. So you invite Trojans and War Eagle and Crimson Tiders to all vote for...
All to vote for.
Get out there. Make sure your voices are heard. Make sure we uphold your values in D.C. and send somebody up there that's going to stand for Jesus.
I got you. Amen. Thank you, Hampton. God bless you, brother, and you have a safe and successful campaign.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me on.
Okay, bye-bye. 29 years old.
Hey, I'm looking at his webpage, HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com. He and his wife have 7 children. This is what I'm looking at.
Can they vote? Because if they can vote,
could swing the election.
I would go with him.
That could swing the election. Listen, when you've got skin in the game, you're more likely to try to influence what's happening. And obviously, he and his wife have 7 children. That's what you call skin in the game in terms of the future of our country.
That's exactly right. That goes back to our first segment. A lot of the young people that are voting for the Michigan
Al Said,
they're, like we said, 25 and younger, no kids, and they've been conditioned by college campuses and everything else. In this case, he's 29 years old, 7 kids, a lot of responsibilities, and that does begin to change your thinking, even apart from just a biblical worldview. I mean, you start thinking about the future of your kids.
Yeah. Amen. All right, you're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Next story, Fred.
Okay. Yes. Well, now everybody knows who Abdul El Sayed is. Yeah. And you will get to know him even better over the next couple of months as we go up to the general election. Well, there's another name I think you're going to get to know as well.
Also in the Midwest.
Yes, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
She is a Democrat.
Fred, that would be Wisconsin.
Wisconsin,
okay.
Yes.
Cheeseheads.
Yeah, cheeseheads.
Okay.
Her name is Francesca Hong. Francesca Hong.
Okay.
She wants to be the next governor of the state of Wisconsin.
All right.
Go down the list of these DSA people. They want to get rid of ICE and they want to get rid of the Senate. But she said something controversial back a few weeks ago.
By the way, is she the nominee or is she running on the Democrat side?
She's running on the Democrat side.
Okay,
yes.
okay. So she hasn't become the nominee yet, but she wants to be the Democrat nominee to be governor of Wisconsin. And she did a television interview.
Well, she did this interview a few days ago.
Okay.
She was asked about the declaration that she made that she thinks Thanksgiving should be canceled. And so she was interviewed.
Like what?
Yeah, Thanksgiving should be canceled. She was interviewed on CNN by Donald Trump's favorite CNN reporter, Caitlin Collins. And Caitlin Collins challenged, do you really want to get rid of Thanksgiving? So here's a little bit of that conversation. Cut number 10.
One thing that they brought up as well was a post from you in 2021 where you said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621. The post has been deleted. Republicans have been highlighting it. Do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled?
I'm a chef, and one of the first meals that I made that was for the community when I was 16 was a Thanksgiving meal. I always think my hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7-8 years, that bringing folks around the table to share conversation and build community is always a good thing. But Thanksgiving is also a time that's incredibly painful for many people in our communities. And so I think I wanted to make sure that people understood that there are multiple views, but views can evolve. And the position that I'm running for right now, and I think my background as a chef, will actually help me become a better governor that's able to bring more people to the table.
Okay. Before we jump into the contents of what she said.
Right.
I don't trust any chef who's against Thanksgiving. Huh? Do I have a point, ladies and gentlemen?
You do have a point.
Okay. Anyway, what's her name again before Ed waxes eloquent? I know Wesley wants to jump into
Francesca Hong.
Okay, Ed, her name is Francesca Hong. What do you think about her comments there, Ed?
Well, first of all, I do have to agree with her that I've had many uncomfortable Thanksgivings. Okay.
Especially afterwards.
I have eaten way too much, been very uncomfortable. And I would even agree with her, painful.
Painful.
Okay, it's been painful.
Yeah.
Listen, this whole idea about not celebrating our history because some people are uncomfortable with it or it causes pain is a self-defeating argument, because her view causes me pain and makes me uncomfortable. Okay, so that means, according to her logic, I should celebrate Thanksgiving, and she should stop talking about Thanksgiving causing other people pain because her view causes me pain. So let's just stop all that nonsense. We don't make decisions in this country based on emotions. Emotions enter into it, but you're not going to get sound public policy based on how you feel. You're going to get sound public policy based on the facts and about truth. And this idea that we stole the land and therefore we can't celebrate Thanksgiving is ludicrous. I would say, yeah, some of this land was stolen, but that is the way everyone has behaved, including the Native Americans. Okay? So, and I'm not sure what Hong is in terms of nationality or ethnicity, but I guarantee you, Francesca, your people, you're from way back, they stole someone's land too, and we just need to move on. And I'm celebrating Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is about the Pilgrims and the Indians getting together for a peace meal and then thanking God for His blessings of life.
Right.
What? And then,
it's an attack on American history, and it's an attack on our country.
Then move and go somewhere else.
She doesn't want to move. She wants to take over the country that she says white people stole from Native Americans, so that Francesca Hong, who is neither, can run the country.
Yeah.
She's not leaving and going anywhere. That's what makes me upset with these folks.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Good.
We had more about Francesca.
More from Hong.
Yeah. More about Francesca Hong this morning on Fox and Friends. When I walked into work this morning, they were dealing with this. She, like the DSA candidates, they like to play the race card. All right? We have a problem with racism in this country. And so they played a clip of her talking about this, where she mentioned the phrase proximity to whiteness.
Now, we do need to give just a little bit of a warning to our parents.
Yeah.
This is going to discuss where babies come from, our conversation.
Yes.
So if you're not comfortable with that with little ones around, you may want to
And the
change
other part, context, she has a white male friend through which she's had a child.
That's disappointing.
Okay. So, but coming out of this clip where she talks about proximity to whiteness, we have Fox host Lawrence B. Jones. He goes ballistic over this because he...
And we're going to hear that.
Yes. Now, a little bit about Lawrence Jones.
Be ready to spew your coffee out.
Yeah. He was a Democrat
in laughter
who eventually became a Republican.
I'm going to warn you.
And he has no time for people playing the race card, okay?
Is he black?
He is black.
Okay.
Black from Texas, all right? And he just...
Well, we can hear it.
He was animated, okay? So let's have a listen. This is cut number 11.
And proximity to whiteness continues, right? I'm my son is biracial. He's half white and half Korean, and I think navigating, what his identity is and how people perceive him is always at the back of my mind.
Proximity. You slept with the guy. I mean, think of all of these candidates, all these candidates that speak so much about the racism and Kamala Harris. Married to a white guy. All of them are married to white people. And they talk about white privilege and how it's oppressive to everyone. And meanwhile, they all marry them. And I just don't think you should believe them. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any closer than sleeping with the guy. Proximity. Come on.
They were very close.
Right.
That's a mic drop.
That's not a comedy skit. That's live Fox News, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
He was ready to come out of his chair.
So this
complaining about proximity to whiteness.
This woman,
so she's Korean.
Yes.
He says she's Korean.
She's Korean. She lives in Wisconsin. She wants to be governor of that state, which, by the way, has a lot of white people.
She should have proximity to whiteness.
She's talking about navigating with her son,
right?
His identity. She should have thought about that before.
Right. I know. Before she slept with that dude.
And had a baby with him.
So, what is proximity to whiteness? What does that mean? Should I be worried about that?
That's a
no. You're part of
buzzword.
the problem.
Huh?
You're part of the problem.
Because I'm sitting here and I'm looking all around this room.
It's pretty white.
Yeah, it's pretty white room to me, and I'm worried. Should I be worried about this?
Yeah, well, you should. I mean, you can't
saying
catch
I'm
anything.
part of the problem?
You can't. Yeah, well, we're white people, and listen, this is not playing like it did in the wake of the George Floyd protests. White people especially are getting tired of this kind of talk.
And weary.
And weary of it. And I don't think except for a small radical part of the Democratic Party, or I would even say just the left in general, people aren't buying this. And
black people aren't buying it.
And a lot of black people aren't buying it, including this gentleman. Okay, so the fact is you're complaining about the founding of this nation and the founding history and the founding principles, and then you want to join the system that now governs this country, and you want to get rid of the governing principles and institute other opposite governing principles, but you're not giving it back.
Okay,
that's why I don't want to hear about stealing the land.
Do you want to say anything about this, Wesley? Because I got another point here. What's the lady's name again?
Francesca Hong.
Does she identify as a woman? Do you?
Yeah,
I just want to make sure. I don't want to be unfair.
Today she does.
What's her name?
Francesca Hong.
Okay, Francesca Hong, who is a shelf, by the way. She made that clear. Okay, Wesley, did you want to say anything? Because I got one more other thing to say.
You go first.
Well, somewhere along the way, Francesca's people, who were from Korea, decided to come to the land of white races and immigrate here.
And get really close
and get
to
really
white
close
people.
to white proximity. Or that I double talked there, but you get the point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She is free to go back to Korea if this is really causing her anxiety. I don't know. Does she forbid white people from coming to her restaurant?
No.
Well, you should. That puts you close to white proximity.
Yeah.
Am I right? So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Wesley, go ahead and we'll wrap this up because we beat up on Francesca a lot here the last 5 minutes.
By the way, she doesn't believe in prisons either.
Nope.
She said she believes she wants a land without prisons.
Without prisms or prison?
Prisons.
Yes.
Where you put
I'm
criminals.
against prisms.
You're against prisons.
That's part of my campaign.
Yeah.
And my question to her would be, if she stated that, and I've heard other DSAs say this, okay, do you have a lock on your door at your house?
Of course she does.
They do. They
Do you have a lock
they
on your
lock their
door?
cars too.
Yeah.
They're complete hypocrites on that kind of stuff. Wesley, go ahead.
In the first clip we played about Thanksgiving, she mentioned that views can evolve. Views on Thanksgiving can evolve. Well, the Democrats don't believe in that, because if they evolve backwards,
Is she
the
trying?
correct way.
Is she trying to? Is that her trying to say I've evolved and I'm no longer against Thanksgiving? Is that what she was trying to say?
No. She was saying that the Democratic views, or her position is that people do need to have evolving views on Thanksgiving and our founding of our country. But she doesn't really believe that, because if they evolved,
They have
and
to
they
evolve
evolved
one way.
That's the point. That's the
All right, enough Hong talk.
Hey, before we finish up, I need to talk about it is Truth for Youth Week.
Yeah, let's talk about something positive.
Yeah, we hadn't said anything, and we were talking about Hampton Harris, who's a young man, not even 30 years old, running for Congress. Our young people are very important. Well, they're very important to this ministry. They're very important to the kingdom. They are very important to the future of this country. So that's why we dedicate a whole week here in August, and have done so for 25 years prior to this. This is our 26th year to do National Truth for Youth Bible Week. You have been hearing about it all week. You're going to continue to hear about it all across American Family Radio. We're asking you, our listeners, to help us give away thousands of free Bibles. Yes, I said free Bibles to young people across America. So AFR and Revival Fires International, we partnered together this week to provide the only hope for teens. That is the Word of God and the gospel. And so these Bibles are free. What Revival Fires International, you've probably heard Evangelist Tim Todd on the air with us here a number of times this week. His ministry will give away a free Bible to every teenager who is listening, or if you're a parent or a grandparent and have a Christian teenager in your home or in your family, if they will commit to give this Bible away to someone they know in school who needs Jesus, Revival Fires International will give you that free Bible. If you have 3 teens, you can get 3 free Bibles. And so these every student between the ages of 13 to 18 who promise to pass it along get a free Bible. And by the way, over 1 million Truth for Youth Bibles have already been given away in the past 25 years as a result of this project. Tens of thousands of young people have received Christ. Our goal is to give away 65,000 Bibles this week. Here's how you do it. Parents, grandparents, you can order the Bible on behalf of your son or daughter. 2 ways to do it. You can go to tfy.org. That stands for Truth for Youth, tfy.org. Or you can call this number, 800-733-4737. That's 800-733-4737. That rings directly into the Ministry of Revival Fires International. Call between 8:30 and 4 p.m. Central Time. And by the way, when we say these are free, they are absolutely free. You get them for free if you will promise to give it to the teenager in your home, and they promise to give it away. No one's putting your name on a list or anything like that. Free Bibles. They're already paid for. Free to give away. Call 800-733-4737.
All right, we're going to take a short time out right here and return. Steve Paisley Jordahl will come into the studios and deliver the news unto us. We'll see you back here in a few minutes.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
God's given us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so I think we may need to concentrate on listening twice as much as we do our speaking. In other words, our total being, so that we can not necessarily answer, but so we can be there.
Do you listen as much as you speak? Tune in to By Design with Bert Harper to hear more about healthy communication at afr.net/podcasts.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. After a grueling, messy campaign, a far-left progressive has taken on the Democratic establishment and won. Abdul El-Sayed felled Representative Haley Stevens to secure the Democratic nomination for Senate in Michigan. El-Sayed will now face former Republican Representative Mike Rogers, who was uncontested in the GOP primary.
They had 2 terrible choices. They've been at each other's throat for a better part of a year. They have coalition problems. We have built our coalition, and we have been talking to independents for the last couple of months.
Vice President J.D. Vance leads the White House task force to eliminate fraud, targeting government waste and healthcare scams. He talked about that this morning.
We have been able to identify $230 billion of fraud just since the fraud task force was set up, and that's frankly by conservatively estimating it. An example is a program that we set up through the Medicaid program to actually provide high-quality health care to new moms and to newborn infants. To people who can't afford high-quality health care, we, as a generous nation, ensure that they have access to the resources that they need. And yet, we have, working with DOJ and others, we have identified, prosecuted a number of cases of people where they have taken from this program, not provided an ounce of service to a new mom or a young baby, and enriched themselves by literally taking money from the medical care of newborn infants.
The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee is expected to vote today on whether to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after he refused to answer any questions at a recent hearing. Fauci was called to that hearing after entries from his diary revealed contradictions to his earlier statements. Former Vice President Mike Pence on what bothered him most.
What was most troubling to me was I lost count of the number of times in the Situation Room where I asked Dr. Fauci if it might be possible that this came from a lab leak in Wuhan. And he assured me over and over again, even with other virologists at the table taking a different view, that it couldn't have come from a lab.
Los Angeles authorities recently apprehended a suspect carrying multiple firearms and ammo near a golf course owned by President Trump. William Lajeunesse has more.
It was on Sunday here at the Trump National Golf Club that police did arrest 38-year-old Janine John Tooley. Last Friday, Secret Service were doing their security assessment here at the course in preparation for last night's fundraiser. They noticed a suspicious guy walking around with an earpiece, taking photos and video of the security setup. He left, then came back on Sunday, ID'd himself as a State Department individual on a security detail. The feds smelled something rotten, and they called the sheriff's department. Deputies found a 16-round magazine, which is illegal here, in his pocket loaded with hollow point bullets. In his car, they recovered a .45 caliber pistol, another loaded magazine.
And finally, New York's Medical Aid in Dying Act takes effect today. Chris Woodward has more.
The law allows medical aid in dying to be available to terminally ill New Yorkers that are at least 18 years of age and have fewer than 6 months to live. Governor Kathy Hochul said it's about freedoms and the right to bodily autonomy. Things the governor said include the right for the terminally ill to peacefully and comfortably end their lives with dignity and compassion.
You know, this was a very difficult decision for me to make. It's not easy. And I felt that my own upbringing and my own religious values are part of who I am, but cannot affect decision-making I do on behalf of 20 million New Yorkers. And so I thought long and hard about this.
Patients wanting to take advantage of this law must make oral and written requests before doing so, and doctors must also sign off on the decision. Still, Jessica Rogers, Coalition's director for the New York-based Patients' Rights Action Fund, has concerns about the law. For starters, Rogers said it sends a dangerous message to people with disabilities, older adults, and seriously ill patients that death is an acceptable substitute for care. At a moment when home care workers are in short supply and Medicaid supports are being cut, Rogers said the state is offering lethal prescriptions instead of the treatment, pain management, and in-home support that patients actually need to live safely. I'm Chris Woodward.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
If we lose this cultural war, we're going to have a hedonistic, humanistic society.
Discover the story of the culture warrior Don Wildmon and how he went head-to-head with Hollywood, Playboy, the homosexual agenda, and the Disney empire. The movement Don started paved the way for Christians to boldly stand for truth and righteousness in a hostile culture. Watch Culture Warrior today for free. Visit culturewarrior.movie.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, president of the American Family Association.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the delay there. Welcome back to today's issues on the American Family Radio. Tim, Ed, and Wesley. Last name's not important. But Steve Paisley Jordahl joins the team now.
There we go. At least my last name is important.
Well, it is when first introduced here. It's not, and Paisley's not his real middle name, people. For those who are wondering.
I'm thinking of changing it though.
Make it legal.
Are you?
You just need to make it legal.
Yeah.
Steve wears Paisley so often that I gave him the
today, in fact,
the name. Yes, you are. You're donning. I said.
He's donning his gay apparel.
No, he's not. He's as straight as an arrow. One thing before we jump into Steve's got some good stuff for us today.
Absolutely.
No
today,
more
as opposed to yesterday.
I got no more Tim personal life experience stories right now. But there was this Major League Baseball game last night. I think it was last night, earlier this week, involving the Houston Astros and the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
And there was a player by the name, let me get the gentleman's name here, Taylor Trammell. He's a starting outfielder for the Houston Astros.
Okay.
That's quite an accomplishment, right?
Sure.
Make it to the major leagues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he was he was at home in Houston, and he belted a ball way back. And he trotted around first base. He stood and admired the ball. You know how some players do.
Oh, yeah.
For a minute. And then he trotted around the bases first, trotted around second, trotted around third, touched home plate, and was going to celebrate with his teammates. And then he was told that the ball was caught.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. You talk about not one of your finer moments in your career. Watch this. He does this.
This is good radio, folks.
I'm sorry, people. I got to have. Look, okay, so the ball is caught.
It looks like it was going out.
Okay, the ball's caught. He doesn't know it, so he keeps trotting around the field.
Oh no.
And he thinks he's hit a home run. He even praises the Lord. Huh?
And touches home plate.
And then somebody tells him.
This guy says the outfielder laughing.
See, yeah. So and then somebody tells him the ball was caught.
Oh, that's not going to make the ESPN top 10.
Oh well,
I don't know.
He'll always be remembered for that moment. I'll tell you that right now. All right. So the life lesson there, people, is if you're going to celebrate, make sure the ball goes over the fence in life. Don't you think
in life you can throw
lesson.
in life at the end of anything and you make it into a life story?
Right. So I think that's important. What do you got, Steve?
All right, let's start here. There has been a man, and now this is a little confusing. Forgive me. I think he is this is a man, a 38-year-old. He was detained Sunday by Los Angeles County sheriffs. He's well armed, and he was strolling around one of President Trump's golf courses in Los Angeles.
I didn't even know Trump had a golf course in Los Angeles.
He's got
and he was scheduled to be visiting that golf course, right?
Yeah.
In the coming days or something?
He actually headlined a Republican National Committee fundraiser dinner at a golf course his family owns in Los Angeles. During the security assessment on July 31st, the federal agents spotted this guy. Here's the confusing part. His name is Janine John Teal.
Janine?
Yeah, Jeanine. And he's not transgender as far as I can tell.
That was my next question.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's got a picture of him with a little kid.
So he looks like a Jim, but his name's Janine?
It's just Janine. I want to play you a little bit about how the president is taking this. He was shook up, as you know, the president is wont to be. He thought this was, well, let's listen to cut 6.
There was a threat. There was a man who was arrested, seemed to be heavily armed near the property here on Sunday. It's an ongoing concern, sir. Talk about that for briefly, if we can.
Well, the only thing I get a little solace from is they say only consequential presidents. And I am definitely consequential.
Yeah.
That's a good spin on things.
They're not going to try to go after somebody that's inconsequential.
Inconsequential.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know what president would be considered inconsequential if you're president of the.
I think Harrison was.
What now?
What is his name? Harrison.
Benjamin Harrison?
Harrison. I think he was.
I was
pretty quiet 4 years for him. That's what I'm saying.
I was talking about probably post World War II, that if you're a president of the United States of America, it's a pretty substantial country, important country. It's not an insubstantial. But to the president's, to Steve's point, President Trump's not fazed by much.
Let MAGA speak up here, okay?
Yeah, you go for it.
I think what he was trying to say is that if you're not doing something worthwhile or meaningful or helpful, then you're not going to be attacked.
Yeah.
And he's been several attempts of assassination on his life.
But President Trump has dominated the political scene since 2015. It's 11 years, even the 4 years he was out because of the 2020 election, whatever you think about that. He was still dominating. He's dominating talk shows and comedians.
Just ask him.
Well, so that's quite a run If you're dominating the political discussions in the United States of America for 11 years, and it's going to continue on until he's out of office, until he's out of the White House, and then who knows past that. President Trump has been a dominant political figure in this country for more than a decade. That's amazing.
And there are a lot of people who would say he's accomplished more in his, well, specifically the last 2 years after he got the 1 year off, the 4 years off. He got his understanding of the deep state and how to navigate, and he's been doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, his policies and the team around him, his administration, they're going to go down without arguing a top 5 most conservative run in his 2 terms.
Ineffective.
From a conservative policy standpoint, I would say 2, but unarguably top 5 most effective conservative president.
Let me get you guys' thoughts about this. So if you are going to go and you want to know what he's thinking, or you want to know the actions that he's taken, he'll tell you, and he'll tell you on his social media platform called Truth Social. Well, Truth Social is owned by the Trump Media and Technology Group, and they have decided to sell priority access to the president's posts. You can give the firm some money, quite a bit of money actually, and a monthly subscription fee, and you get posts from Truth Social users in real time from not just the president, but other notable users. And he updates major military actions, ongoing conflicts, tariffs, and the like. The subscribers might only gain milliseconds to the general public, but there are politicians, specifically Democrat ones, who say that is enough to maybe manipulate the market. If you want to do this, it could cost
Stock
you
market, you're talking about.
The stock market. It could cost you upwards of $100,000 a month to get this early access to the.
Did you say milliseconds early? How much earlier is this going to be?
Subscribers to the API, which is the API is the mechanism that this is using, might only gain milliseconds on the general public, but that could still be enough to make consequential financial decisions. According to Senator Alex Padilla from California, who has introduced a bill on Tuesday to stop it. The bill is called the Stop Corrupt Trading Act.
I don't think that any president on either side, independent, Democrat, Republic, and anyone else that's a president should be able to make money off of his announcements before he announces it to the country.
All right, bingo.
I mean, it's
he's got to pull that. That's you can't do that. I don't know what the legal ramifications are, but it's unethical.
With what little, I mean, whatever we want to comment here, I don't think it's even going to be a thing. I don't think he'll be able to do that. I think he'll be advised differently.
Who's going to pay $100,000 a month?
Media services will.
Okay, well, let me tell you this.
Well, part of a media service, we're not going to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
It can be.
Okay,
no, we won't.
Just to set, here's what we're talking about, just to be clear. President Trump, types in his own Truth Social post, much like Twitter or what's called X today. And he does that once a day, usually at 2 a.m. And but what the company who owns Truth Social, because it's a private company, they're wanting to sell their service and saying, if our premium service is you get the President of the United States post before everybody else does. Who knows how long? It's got to be more than milliseconds.
I would think.
It's got to be more than milliseconds if you're going to sell it.
I would, yeah.
You got to be at least minutes.
I would think.
Ahead of time. Okay, so he'll have to. Are they already doing this?
They have begun selling priority access to the president's posts.
That's like selling a seat at the West Wing dinner for the highest bidder. Now, they do that some of the times. All presidents do. They fundraise and they sell seats. So anyway.
Well, that's not even the best analogy, I don't think.
Well,
because, I mean,
you're right, but I had to think of it in real time.
Yeah.
Well, because it's that,
I mean, it's
that
more
what you're
significant.
talking about, Tim. That's you can raise money for campaigns.
Yeah, that's true.
In that way, that's campaign money. I'm not sure how ethical all that is. I think President Clinton was criticized for, remember, taking money for allowing people to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom or something like that. This appears to be, because I wanted to know what President Trump's relationship is to Truth Social. Now, this is an AI response, but it's got links to articles. Yes, Donald Trump is majority owner of Truth Social through the Donald J. Trump Revocable Trust. While the shares are technically held in a trust overseen by his son, Donald Trump Jr., Trump remains the sole beneficiary and effectively controls the platform. I don't think this is legal.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think you'll have to, whoever his attorney is, I have to tell him no on this. You can't do this.
Yeah,
so I don't know,
because I don't think you can profit directly from your role as the president while you are in office.
Well, listen, you have the president of the United States making pronouncements, let's say, about the war in Iran to this people who pay to get it, and then 10 minutes later the world sees it.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
So anyway, we'll follow this story.
Yeah.
Next story.
All right. The fires continue in Washington. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. There are 3 wildfires in Washington State: Old Trails Fire, the Autumn Lane Fire, and the Fairview Fire. And as of yesterday morning, I have these. The latest estimate is more than 250,000 acres have been burning. About 700 structures, mostly homes and apartments, and businesses have been destroyed, and about 67,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. Now, they have arrested a guy on a suspicion of arson. That didn't stop former Washington Governor Jay Inslee of saying that there is a different culprit at play here, and that would be cut 14.
Well, we want to thank these firefighters. They've been intrepid and courageous, but there is a reality that we have to face, and that is because our grasslands and forests have become so dry and so hot as a result of the climate changing, that these fires are not, there's no human agency that can really contain them.
Yeah, climate change.
Well, now it sounds like he's saying that climate change has made everything so dry and that human beings cannot contain fires once they start. But what you're saying is that it wasn't climate change that started the fire, it was an arsonist.
Well, this guy made a pronouncement that we just heard. What was his title?
Governor.
Okay, state of Washington. Former governor of the state of Washington. He's saying the wildfires that we're experiencing, which are doing terrible damage, especially in Spokane, terrible damage, massive, that they're caused by global warming. Well, the day after he made this pronouncement, they found the arsonist who started it. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point, one of them, arsonists. Now, that's not to say that nature can't cause fires.
Oh, yeah.
And dry stuff out.
And dry stuff out. That can happen, absolutely. But he blamed it on climate change. The left blames everything on climate change. Sometimes,
even when it's wetter than normal.
Yeah. Also, too, back before 2, 3, 400 years ago, before we had these big cities and all the advancement in technology that we have today, wildfires were a way of not purposeful wildfires, although that people do prescribe burning.
Right.
That does happen. But natural wildfires, things that would happen in a thunderstorm, those were they ended up resetting what was there in a way like it would be if it was prescribed fire. Now, obviously, damages nowadays when we think of wildfires, like damages that takes place in California, and in this case, those are devastating to communities and all that. Right. But fire, in and of itself, in nature, is not inherently a bad thing.
Right, and I personally had an experience once with a fire. No, I'm not going to go there.
No, we've got it recorded.
Is that the cat story?
No, it's the rabbit
story.
Oh, the rabbit. Yeah, we don't need to traumatize people again.
I'll tell you that 37-year-old.
We've got the clip now.
37-year-old Aaron Farinacci has been arrested and booked on suspicion of arson for starting the old fire trail. The old trail fire, the one in Spokane.
So there are multiple fires in Spokane or in the Washington State area, and this is one of them.
One of them. And so far, I don't know how the others started. I can't say that they were started by arson. But the interesting thing about is that Farinacci, his arrest comes 15 years after he pleaded guilty to killing his father. 15 years beforehand.
He's out of prison?
Yes, because he was fighting with him over his request to do the dishes. His dad asked him to do the dishes.
How long ago did he kill him?
15 years ago.
He was convicted of murder?
He pleaded guilty.
And he's out after 15 years?
Yes.
Well, we are talking the state of Washington.
Yeah.
So they don't believe
all I can say, though, is with a name like Farinacci, this was likely to have been Italian lightning.
Right.
That has struck many a business that would not pay up, or that
I don't know what to say to this. Wesley, are we supposed to talk about this? Because we're not Italian.
You can't, because this is Italian proximity.
Oh, that's
here,
right.
And so
proximity to Italianness.
Proximity to Italianness.
Let me ask you.
I don't want to hear your
question.
non-Italian views.
I don't know that.
That's it.
I don't know that anybody can answer this question. Not that I'm looking for an answer necessarily. I'll just say a rhetorical. What kind of sick person starts a fire that he knows is going to potentially ruin thousands of people's lives?
Someone who's sick, like you're saying.
I can answer
Evil.
that.
Go ahead.
I can too.
Only, what's his name, John?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Did he confess to this?
No.
Or
he's
they
been
caught him?
arrested
They
both.
caught him, and so it's alleged. Go ahead.
Yes.
I can tell you how you stop this. You give Mr. Farinacci a job. It's the only this is why people
Problem solved. Thanks,
this is
Ed.
why people do bad things. They just don't have a chance
In
to
life.
get a piece of the pie. And if you give them a good paying job and free
Socialism
health
help.
care,
Socialism would help here.
yes, then they don't do these things.
You're mocking the
evil doesn't exist.
the
right?
left.
I am.
One of the answers, though, is that arsonists do have a fascination with fire, and they kind of like to see it burn. There was a fire in Colorado, a very destructive fire in Colorado, that was started by a park ranger whose job it was to spot fires. So she was kind of making herself a hero. She started a fire, thought she would be able to spot it and direct people to put it out before it could do a whole lot of damage, but she was wrong. It did a ton of damage. Yes.
She was caught. And you know, the way they caught her is that a lot of squirrels' homes now have like Ring cameras.
Yes.
So they were able
Well,
to.
you're just rolling today, aren't you?
I have
You
no
just
idea.
got it going on.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I try to host a serious talk show where we can discuss the issues.
Oh, you've told us distraction and seriousness is off the table
you guys
for this
just,
program.
You guys just constantly taking us off.
That's taking us off
track, and it's up to me.
Yes, it is.
To bring it back in.
I would just like to say he does it way more than I do.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's true.
Boy, Wesley,
So we'll,
take long for Wesley to
I just threw you right
throw
up.
me under the bus.
Yeah.
First segment on the same team.
Okay.
Third segment, not so much.
It's all every man for himself.
That's it.
All right, you're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Tim, I'm the one who tries to keep the show on track.
Amen.
Ed and Wesley, and now Steve. Steve, what else you got?
All right, Dateline, Brookline, Massachusetts. Some boomers there were deciding to throw a No Kings protest.
Some boomers.
Yes.
Like me and Ed? And
Just
you?
like and me.
Old
Yes.
folks.
I
Old
shouldn't say
folks.
me and Ed. Whatever the proper thing, Ed and I.
And so they were doing the No Kings protest, and
Uh-huh.
they decided that they were going to bring some instruments down. One guy has a little baritone, and they had some kazoos, and I don't know why they thought music was a good idea, but they wanted to prove that they were kind of patriotic, so they decided they were going to play My Country 'Tis of Thee. And it sounded a little bit like this, cut 17.
You know what that also sounds like?
What does it sound like, Ed?
Is it God Save the King?
It is. It's the British national anthem, God Save the King.
You're kidding me.
I'm not.
At a No Kings
At
rally.
a No Kings protest.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
No
those
Kings
leftists.
Protests, yeah.
They're more fun than a barrel of monkeys.
They're protesting Trump's what they're doing here. They're saying he's acting like a king, and then they're playing a song at their rally that's God Save the King.
Which I'm good with. God Save the King.
All we needed there was, at the end, was a far purple-haired lefty screaming. Playing, you've seen the video.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while, if I'm feeling a little down at lunch, I will play some of those pink-haired, purple-haired ladies
Screamers?
Yeah. And it just cheers me right back up.
Or the transgender man that's like, I'm a woman.
Oh, my gosh.
Call me ma'am.
What I'm liking is the celebrities who declared they were leaving the U.S. if Trump got elected.
Yeah, they're coming back.
Some of them didn't, but the ones who did.
Took them a month.
Rosie O'Donnell.
She's gone a month.
Back?
She didn't last a year, I don't think. Maybe. And then Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, yeah.
There was a funny story about Ellen DeGeneres. I'm leaving America. Trump's in charge, and he's a king. It's going to be a hateful place to live. And she was so she moved over to some British countryside villa.
Yeah.
And stayed about a year. And they said she was bored out of her mind, and decided to come back to Trump's America.
And my understanding is British food is pretty bland.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, that's another kind of guilty pleasure on YouTube. You could watch British kids trying American food.
I've seen. I love those.
Yeah.
I love those.
So anyway, welcome back, Rosie and Ellen.
Yeah. Good to
We're
have
glad,
you back.
glad to have you.
Yeah.
And
For our entertainment.
God Save the King.
Yeah. Enjoy yourself some Cracker Barrel. And Olive Garden.
And Buc-ee's.
Yeah, and Buc-ee's.
And air conditioning.
All right. We will be back tomorrow. We hope to see you then. Take care.